Hey there, fellow traders. Are you finding yourself tangled in the web of trading struggles? You're feeling the weight of frustration. I'm going to tell you, I've been there too, and there is a way out. In today's video, we're diving into a powerful watch list strategy that not only crushes those pain points, but turns them into substantial profits. This is our watch list that I put out to you guys for free every single day. The watch list for Monday, December 18th. Now, it's a long watch list. This is going to be part one. I'm going to do another video on part two later this weekend, so you're going to want to watch for that as well. The way you can find it, subscribe, hit the bell. That way when I put that video out, you will get the notification for part two of this Monday watch list. Now, I don't usually put out Monday watch lists. I'm going to do it for you guys today. So I need you to do this. Picture. You're tired of the roller coaster ride, the uncertainty, and the constant battle with losses. Guess what? This video, this strategy, it's the key to your trading liberation. We're not just talking about surviving. I'm talking about thriving in the market jungle. Now, as I've said, I've curated this watch list. It's not just a list of stocks. It's a game changer, a roadmap to success. I know the struggles of trading losses because I felt them. And now it's time to share the strategies that turn my losses into big wins, or at least consistent wins. That strategy is the strat. So if you're ready to break free from the chains of trading frustration, I want you to hit that subscribe button. I want you to join the Discord. That link is in the description below. That is also free. Buckle up and let's get in on this journey to transform your trading experience. This is your ticket, guys, ladies and gentlemen. It's your ticket to a new era of trading success. I don't want you to miss out on it. Let's get started on this list. The very first thing I'm going to tell you is this. If you don't have a screen like what you see in front of you here, this is TradingView. Now, I use TradingView every single day to find my trades, to find my setups, and to watch the market as I'm taking my trades. So what I've done in the description below, there's a link for TradingView. It gets you a free 30-day trial to their sub-based services. Test it out, try it. If you like it, you get up to $30 off of your subscription. If you don't like it, no harm, no foul. It's a free offer for you guys to try the service. Let's get started on the list. We're going to start with Macy's. I went to Neo. We are going to start with Macy's. So Macy's has what we like to call in the strat an inside bar or a one bar. You notice these candlestick numbers. I've created an indicator for the strat. It's got these candlestick numbers. It's got this time frame continuity. Paints the inside bars white or yellow, the outside bars white, the inside bars yellow, and it gives you a bunch of 50% rules. When you see this, and it's hard to see, we'll zoom in. When you see this yellow bar, that tells me there's an inside bar or a one bar. This is one of the actionable signals when we talk about the strat, and I'll talk about the other two as we go through, but they're high probability plays. And anybody who's struggling with trading or is new to trading, I always tell them to concentrate on the inside bars. And I will tell you right off the bat, you don't have to look at these setups off of the day. You can look at these setups off of the 30-minute. You can look at these setups off of the 15-minute. Okay, it doesn't matter. The hourly, the 4-hour, does not matter. But you look at the way the inside bars react, and we get these runs. That's what we look for off of these inside bars. And they change my game so much in trading. Like, we have the break to the downside. Perfect setup. They don't always work. They don't always work, okay? This one actually worked again. We hit triggers and we hit targets, okay? But here's an example. This one didn't really work. Here's another example. This one worked. Looks like we hit targets because the target didn't have a ton of magnitude to it. But here's another one, inside bar, that worked. Okay, so these are the type. This one popped up and then ran down. This one, run to the downside. This one, run to the downside. I'm going to tell you this right off the bat before we really get into this. Guys, any strategy that you've looked at, whether it's this one or something else, every trade that you've taken, it's always and always has to be and always will be based off of probability, because when we get this inside bar, we don't know what this candle's going to do. We don't know if it's going to trend down, trend up, go outside bar, stay inside bar. We don't know. But with this strategy based off of probability on the setups that we look at, it tells us if you're looking at an inside bar, the majority of the time we have really, really nice runs, really, really nice setups. So that's what we are trying to portray here. And if if somebody's teaching you a strategy and they're not telling you it's based off of probability, it's based off of fact, it's just not true. It can't be, because nobody knows. When we open up, I'm going to go back to the day here off this inside bar. When we open up on Monday, nobody knows what the next candle is going to be. We don't know if it's gapping up, if it's gapping down, if it's opening inside bar, if we go 2 up, if we go 2 down, if we go outside bar. We don't know. So it is based off of probability, but they're high probability setups. So when we have this inside bar, the yellow bar, and we're going to get into this list a little bit faster. I'm going through a little bit of theory here. But when you see this inside bar, I want you guys to think of a spring being compacted, squished, loaded, like a jack-in-the-box. And when that thing releases, we expect a big pop, just like I showed you in the previous candles. Okay, we expect that big pop. So we can look for calls at 1989. If this breaks to the upside, we take the trade. If it breaks to the downside, you can take the trade. And then we mark our targets with the highs of the preceding wicks if we're trending to the upside, the low of the preceding wicks if we trend to the downside. So to the upside, the next target would be right here. To the downside, the next target would be right here. And that tells us where we should be taking our profit on the trade. Way too many times, and again, we don't have to look at it on the day. You can look at it on the 15, but way too many times, people run through those targets and they get greedy and they don't take their profit and they turn it into a losing trade. The perfect example, I took a trade on CVX today. And CVX, it hovered around. I bought it at 62 cents. 62 cents. And it hovered around. It went to 54. It went to 65. It went to 52. It went to 61. And when I got to that certain point where I was at, I don't even remember what I sold it at. 70 cents, I think, is what I sold it at. It was like 14, 15, 16%. Or I don't quite recall. It's on the Discord. It's on Twitter. I posted it. But I took my profit, and I didn't get greedy. And if you go look at CVX after that point where it trended down, it came back up, I would have lost all my profit. But I didn't get greedy. Trading is such a mental game. There's so many more facets than just, EMAs crossing or what have you. A lot of it is mental. A lot of it is having the control to say, hey, it's a Friday. I got 15, 16, 17% profit. There's only 2 hours left in the day. I'm going to take my profit. I'm going to go into the weekend and I'm going to start fresh again Monday. There's too many times that people don't do that. And if you go back and look at my past trades, they're all posted. 8 out of the last 12 days, I didn't trade every day. I traded 8 out of 12, I think is what it was. And that was for a total of 378%, guys. It compounds. Like, a lot of people don't like to see 13, 14, 15%, 20%. They want to see those bangers that everybody's showing on Twitter and YouTube and Facebook, Instagram. But that's not the reality of trading as a whole. If you can consistently get those small base hits, you are going to be astronomically successful in trading, okay? But it is a mental thing, and you guys have to prepare yourself for that, okay? So that's the inside bar. I've talked long enough. Let's move on to Pfizer. Pfizer was another one I took some trades on. This gap down from here to here made me 360%. It's a fantastic trade, one of my best ones in the last couple months. But we have that inside bar again on Pfizer, so we look for that break to the high side or the low side of this actionable signal. And when it breaks, I'm just going to change this to green. When it breaks that trigger, we call that going in force. So you'll hear some of the straters saying we went in force. What does that mean? That means we broke through the trigger. We're in force. That play is now set up and in motion. Okay, so calls at 26.99, puts at 26.08. Our targets are marked out. We look at Uber. So Uber, this is different than what we've seen so far. If you're new. So Uber has a 2 up that finished red. A 2 candle, you see it's marked there, is a directional candle. It means it moves to either one side or the other of the previous candle. In this case, we went 2 up. Okay, if it would have broke to the downside, we would have called that a 2 down. We have a 2 up. You notice it's red. So that tells me we have a 2 up that finished red. It tells me the buyers were in control. The sellers took it back. And when the sellers take it back, again, this is just probability based. It tells me there is a high probability that this trade trends down on Monday. That's all it's saying. Okay, and every candlestick we're looking at, guys, tells a story. This one, listen, this one tells us if we trigger, you have a really good potential of hitting this target down here. That's your profit zone. You don't have to take all of your profit there, but you should be taking profit there. Okay? And again, this works across any time frame, whether you're looking at the 15, the 30, the hourly, the 10, the 5, I don't care what you look at. The 45, doesn't matter. That's the way it's set up. This is very organic trading. We don't use EMA crossings. We don't use RSIs. We don't use, pick whatever you want, cup and handles. We don't have to try and decipher what shape is being formed by a bunch of candlesticks. We know, based on these patterns, what we are setting up with. And you don't have to decipher them. They just are. It's a 2-up red. It just is. And then it gives you targets. It's telling you a story, but you have to be able to listen to that story and follow through on what that story is telling you. We're going to move to Moderna. Moderna has that inside bar, and this is what I would call a shooter candle, okay? So a shooter candle has this body at the bottom with a long wick to the top. This wick should be at least 2 times the size of this body. Some people might say 3 times, but if you check Investopedia, it is 2 times the size of this body, which we have here. I will call this a shooter candle. That is 2 out of 3 out of the actionable signals. So we talked about the inside bar being an actionable signal. Now we have the shooter candle, an actionable signal. The third one, I can talk about it now, is the inverse of this, the opposite. Okay, it's a hammer candle, where we have this body would be at the top and the wick would be at the bottom. It's a bullish pattern. This shooter candle is a bearish pattern. Not saying it's going to go down, but probability tells us what we have here, it's going to trend down. We can still take this to the upside, or we can take it to the downside. Your triggers are marked. Your targets are marked. I want to tell you guys something. The top 5s from these lists go to the Griswold Gold members in the Discord, which is free. Majority of the rooms are free. There is a paid portion. It's $50 a month. You buy 2 months, you get a month free. You get the top 5s from these plays. You get the top 5 from the weekly setups, the monthly setups, the quarterly setups. You get one-on-one time with me. You get live trading bots that show you on the 30-minute chart. They'll say, hey, listen up, Joe, Mark, Sarah, Clara. You have an inside bar here, okay? You have an inside bar set up on Chewy on the 30-minute chart. You have a inside bar set up on Chewy on the 15-minute chart. You have on the hourly an inside bar setup. You have a double inside bar setup. It lets you guys know those things so you don't have to go searching for them. You're not spending your day searching for these setups. They come directly to you. So there's live trading bots. You get this indicator. You can get it separately, but it comes with the membership. It is $50 for 1 month. You get a 1-hour strat course. What I'm teaching you here, a much slower version, a much more in-depth version of what I'm teaching you here. You get that as well. And there's a bunch of other really great things included with that course. We're going to move, or with that membership. We're going to move on to CVS. You can get 2 months and you get a month free. I'm not sure if I mentioned that. So CVS, completely different from what we've seen on the other ones. Similar, but different. This one, we had a 2 down, finished green. So that tells me exact opposite of what we talked about on the last one. Or on, I think, Moderna. So we had sellers in control. The buyers brought it back. And I'm going to go through this now. Time frame continuity is very important. So on the quarterly, on the monthly, this is saying, hey, CVS is in an upwards trend. On the yearly, it's in a downwards trend. Which, if we go to the yearly, there it is, 2 down on the year. The more that we have in our favor before we take a trade, the better. Because it tells us we have buyers on the quarterly, buyers on the monthly. When we open up on Monday, these could all change, okay? Because when we open up on Monday, it's a new week, it's a new day, it's a new hour. If we trend up, we've got outside of the year, full time frame continuity right across the board, but it's telling us CVS is moving in a certain direction. Netflix, this is a great setup, okay? These do not happen very often. And so that leads me to show you guys, on my indicator, it also highlights the double inside bars blue. It also highlights the 3-1 setups yellow, and it does that on all time frames. If we go to the 15, it shows a double inside bar. Okay, but we're going to look at the daily. I'm going to go back in time because, again, we're looking at probability here based off of double inside bars, and they are so rare. The last one we had on the daily, we're going all the way back to May. Okay, May of 23, and look at what happens. Okay, look at this, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight days of an uptrend. on Netflix off of that double inside bar. Okay, the 3-1s are also very, very powerful. They have potential. Here's another one, double inside bar. 2 big, big days. If you would have taken this trade, even if you would have taken it only on day 1 and not held it through day 2, 291 all the way down to 281. Huge move. This one, second day, all the way down to 273. That is a big, big move. That's a month changer, okay? Meaning you would have had a multi-bag setup on that Netflix play. So, okay, it's a double inside bar. It's double consolidation. We're double spring-loaded, getting ready for that big, big move. I was going to say bounce. Strat Soldier. Jermaine does not like the word bounce. We do not bounce, but a really, really big move. Here is Nike. Okay, Nike's got earnings coming up this week, or leading into next week. I believe it's on Thursday. That's what this little E tells me right here. If I clicked on it, there it is. Earnings, Thursday, December 21st, 23. Okay, full time frame continuity across the board. Right now, we've got the inside bar. Spring loaded, ready to explode. Calls at 122.06, puts at 120.60. Walmart, 2 down green. We're looking to trend up. And this is also what we call a rev strat. So it's basically a 1, 2 down, 2 up reversal, or vice versa. 1, 2 up, 2 down reversal is what we're looking for. Essentially, it is a 2, 2 reversal. This target is what we're looking for it to hit. Okay, we're looking for it to retrace that. So calls at 153.46. First target, we can call it at 154.05. We move on to American Airlines. There's that 2 up red. So we'll look for the puts there at 14.41. I've got 2 targets marked out for you. One, the bottom of the wick. Now, remember when I said we always go to the bottom of the wick, except for, see how there's no candlestick in between here? That's a gap. When we have those, okay, our targets go to the top of the wicks until this candle moves through and fills this gap. If this candle moves through, our gaps are filled. Next target is the bottom of that wick. Hey, if you guys have questions on this stuff, you can leave them down below. Please make sure you're giving me a thumbs up. Follow me on Twitter. You can ask me there. You can ask me in the Discord. And if the ads pop up, these videos are free, so I'm asking you to please watch those ads. Thank you very much. Apple, inside bar. We can look for calls at 198.40, puts at 197.57. We're looking for that spring-loaded inside bar action. Airbnb, inside bar there as well. You know how the calls work at 148.73, the puts at 145.86. These contracts, I believe, are a little bit more expensive than most if you're looking at it. AFRM. Okay, guys, AFRM, I called out today. I gave it to the Griswold Gold members in the room. Then I sent it out on Twitter after. I told you guys to watch this thing. As much as it was trading inside bar, and I don't like to trade things that are sitting inside bar on the day on lower time frames, meaning until this breaks out, until this current candle on Friday broke above the high or the low of the previous candle, I don't really like trading it. But if we look at it, there was a move right here, and that's the move I called out for you guys. This move right here went over 100%. Okay? Called it out for you guys in the Griswold Gold Room. Gave it out on Twitter afterwards. You can check that out online, or you can check it in the rooms in the Discord. So inside bar on AFRM, we're looking for calls at 45.94, puts at 43.17. AMD, 3-1 setup. So we talked about those double inside bars being rare. These outside bars are painted white to 3 bar, and the inside bar, 3-1 setup, they are also very, very rare. They don't happen very often. So we go back in time and look, there's a double inside bar, there's a 3-1 setup. Now it gapped, but it was a really, really big move. This one, inside bar, 2-day move, just missed the target, but it was still a really, really good move. So these are back from August. Here's another one, 3-1 setup, a really, really big move down. Okay, and we'll look for one more here, see how it reacted. 3-1, let's zoom in. Okay, 3-1 setup, we triggered, we hit multiple targets. That's all we can ask for. These candlesticks, this 3-1 setup said, if I trigger on the inside bar, expect me to at least hit this target. And it hit more. Okay, it hit more. So this was a successful trade. The candlesticks did exactly what they said they were going to do. So we have this 3-1 setup. We'll look for that same idea on AMD on Monday. Citibank, okay, 2 down, finished green. Buyers bringing it back. Nice time frame continuity. Nice magnitude up to the top. $50.10 to $51.55. We'll look for that to trend on Monday. BAC, there's another inside bar. Really good time frame here. Calls at 34.02, puts at 32.57. BIDU, 2 up red. Okay, what does that tell me? Tells me the sellers took this thing back down. Time frame continuity is pointing downwards. We're going to say this is a reversal into time frame continuity if it happens, and we've got good magnitude on the target. If we look at that pink line, that is the weekly. So what do we have here? We have a setup on the daily saying we could trend down. We also have a setup on the weekly where we have a 2 down that finished green saying we could potentially trend back up. And that's the conundrum we run into sometimes, where the weekly's telling us one thing, the daily's telling us another thing. And to me, you're dealing with a little bit less probability on that setup, which is fine. And it just doesn't have to be on one of your top plays. You can watch it and you can play it either way, but just make sure you're aware of what we are showing you there. And the last one I'm going to go through with you guys today is CCL. So CCL, there's that inside bar. Would I call that a shooter candle? Yes, I would. Shooter candle, inside bar, calls at 18.95, puts at 18.55. Good potential for a run down. And again, we talked about that gap. There's your next target. Okay? Unless you find something further back here, which you might have. If we mark it out, let's see. No, sir. Oh, right there. Hey, if we marked it out, now you have 3 targets to hit, achieve on the way down. Guys, this was part 1. Part 2 is going to come later in the weekend because there are a lot of setups for Monday. There's going to be a weekly swing video out this weekend, so make sure you guys are watching for that. Thank you for watching, guys. Good luck trading. We'll see you in part 2. Make sure you check out the membership, check out the Discord, find me on Twitter, on Instagram, subscribe below, thumbs up. Good luck trading, guys. We'll see you all on the next one. Bye-bye.